Great morning. It's Saturday, September 22nd. So let's look at what the wisdom of the day is. Okay, today is Father of Fire. In other words, putting your energy out in the world. Doesn't mean sitting there thinking about it. I feel it. No, you got to do something. Okay, you got to do something. Okay, we see that it's Three of Eagles. The truth is things are broken. And if you don't do something, guess what? It's going to remain broken. Okay, that's a fact, okay? So, people that come to the channel, they go, had various comments on the thumbs down. A lot of people, we like it. Well, what are you doing? Are you putting this out there? Are you joining in? Are you, just look at it and go, that's great, I love it. I'm one person. I can't do it by myself, okay? And people need to band together. Again, lodge. You need to come together to make things happen. Can't just sit back in your armchair and think things are going to get done. If it's broken, it needs to be fixed. How's it going to be fixed? By getting the energy out there and doing something, confronting it. It's time for revolution, okay? It's time to stand up. Okay, it's time to stand up. Yes, we need to take a breath. Gather yourself up. Take a breath. Gather yourself up. And then things begin. How did the Grand Canyon get formed? It got formed by that river. When that river started, it wasn't a big river. It was a trickle. It starts with a trickle. Then it gathers forces. More join in. And then it becomes a flow. Okay, when you get enough in a lodge, you get enough banded together, it becomes a flow. When it becomes a flow, you can put forward the energy to repair things. But it's not going to happen by sitting there in an armchair and clapping and going, that's great. It's not going to get done that way. You need to stand up and voice your opinion. Like I said on my channel, no more. No more abuse of women. No more abuse of power. No more. No more. You're voted out. I think we can agree all of us are women first. We didn't come in being born into the world as a Democrat or a Republican. We came born into the world as women. Okay? Talking about women, okay, at this moment. But I'm going to get to you men too, don't worry. I'm not leaving you out, okay? So we came in as women, so our priority should be as women first, okay? Yes, we all have our ideologies, but we should all agree that we are done with having male abuse the power and wanting to see women basically barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen, shutting your mouth, okay? I want you to look good. I want you to have the face of a saint and be a whore in the bedroom, okay? That's basically what a lot of men want, okay? Let's face it. Let's be honest here, okay? And it's time for women to stand up and say no more. We can make a difference at the polls if we band together. If we band together, that little trickle will become a flow. And that flow can change things radically. So we have more and more women being voted into office. We need to take back and say, we've had enough of the abuse. We've had enough of being under the thumb. We've had enough of them telling us how we're going to run our body, how we're going to do this, how we're going to do that. And what they're doing to Ford is a disgrace. If it was a man that this had happened to, you think it would be going this way? If men had to have children, do you think it would be going this way? If they had to carry them 9 months? If they had to go through the pain of childbirth? And then if they had some, if men were the ones that had children, and then if women abandoned them and said, good luck now. Hope you enjoy my offspring, okay? Because I don't want to pay you. I don't want to help support them. I don't want to help raise them. I don't want to have anything to do with it except for, let me see them when I want to see them. But it's all on you. Okay? And we're going to give you less money, less opportunity to raise them. And then we're going to corral you and put you down for it. Okay? If you think it was reversed, you think it would be going on like this? I guarantee not, okay? So again, it's time to stand up. Sweat lodge, last card, is sweat lodge. What is sweat lodge? It means sweating out the impurities, going into the heat, going into the fire, sweating it out, getting rid of the impurities, refining, okay? Like the Bible says, the gold needs to be refined. We have to go through a refining process. And in this case, the refining process is we need to clean up the House, the Senate, the presidency. We need to take it back and say no more. No more of big money special interest groups. No more of this drama. No more of putting women down. No more of being subjugated. No more of them, ripping children away from their parents. No more of trying to destroy our country. We are a place of melting pot of opportunity, of cultures, of value. We have a singular value of being a light to the world. Now instead of being a light, we are a blight. Do you want to be a blight or do you want to be a light? I prefer being a light. Just saying, okay? And in order to be a light, we have to take our country back. We can't just sit by the sidelines. We need to stand up. We need to mobilize. We need to take the power back and say no more. We need to change the voting system, okay? From being electoral votes to be one, yes, by mob rule. Democratic means mob rule. Does that tell you what their view is? They say Democrat means mob rule. An electoral vote is by a republic. The Republicans want to stay in power. They want a republic. They don't want a democratic state. They just say we're democratic to make us feel good. But make no mistake, this is not a true democracy when you have electoral votes. When a man can get voted in, like Trump, through hook and crook, and this has happened a number of times, where actually the popular vote, the one that actually won the election, is not in power. How can that continue to be? You tell me. Okay? Please tell me. So it's time to make some changes, but changes are not going to happen until we stand up. And we make a force, we come together, we sweat it out, okay? We put the fire on, we put the power on, okay? And we make them clean up their act. And we have the vocal power to do it. We have the vote, but we've got to band together so it becomes a flow rather than a trickle. I'm one person. But when we band together, you have one drop of water. What's one drop of water? Insignificant. But you get a whole lot of drops together, and look what's happened in Port, North Carolina with the flood. You get a lot of banded together, and it can cause a lot of havoc. It can make changes, big changes, okay? So we need to band together, become a flow rather than a trickle, okay? Again, we need to see what's broken, and we need to be able to stand up to fix it, okay? We need to take a breath too, okay? That doesn't mean that we don't still have revolution. It's time to have a revolution. It is really time to stand up in power, to become a lodge, to become a place of reckoning, a place of wisdom, a place of making changes, okay? So in order to do that, we need to light a fire. We need to be a fire. We need to be more than sitting in there and go, that was nice, thanks. I enjoyed that, okay? I even had somebody say today that it was hilarious when I did a thumbs up. Well, I'm not laughing, okay? If you think it's hilarious, this is not a comedy hour for your amusement, my dear. You're young. You need to grow up, okay? This was by a young woman. Hilarious when you do the thumbs down. Hilarious. So I'm glad you're laughing. But trust me, if you face sexual assault when you get older, you're not going to be laughing, okay? You will wish you would have stood up if we don't stand up and we don't get things rectified. We don't want the younger generation to go through what we've had to go through, okay? Women have faced abuse, and then they shame, and they blame. Abuse, blame, and shame. Abuse, blame, and shame. Abuse, blame, and shame. Okay? Are we getting a picture here? No more of abuse and blaming and shaming. Again, what Trump said yesterday about if it really happened, you would have reported it to the police immediately. Okay? How many women has he abused and they all went to the police? And this is what the abusers count on. Abuse, blame, and shame. And this is the way they've kept women down. And then convenient laws that they continue to put into effect. Okay? They think it's funny for men to go out and sow their wild oats when they're kids. Go out and make those babies and then go ahead and leave them. Give women less pay. And then if a man has the children to raise them, they're all, oh, it's so fabulous. You're so, they have more. Really? I don't clap when a man is raising his child. Yes, it's an anomaly. But they've got more resources than women to raise a child. They can afford to pay for babysitters, for child care. Women's pay is way below men's. And then we have all the responsibility. We're left with the responsibility. We're left with trying to get them to honor up enough money to help raise a child. Everything is put on the woman's back. Okay? While they go off and sow their seeds elsewhere. Okay? It's time for big changes to take place. So the wisdom of the day is basically, let's break it down. If we want stuff to happen, we need to band together and stand up and say no more. Okay? We need to vote these old men out of office that have no respect for women. That their main way has always been abuse, blame, shame. Abuse, blame, shame. Abuse, blame, shame. Well, we're not having it anymore. Okay? Women are starting to have the Me Too. They're starting to stand up. Well, we need to stand up even further. We need to stand up stronger. We need to stand up further. We need to say no more. Okay? Abuse, blame, shame is not going to take place any longer. We are not having it. Okay? It's time to get some balance. Things have been so skewed. Men are up here, women down here. At times, it needs to come to balance. I'm not saying overturn it. I'm saying there needs to be balance. There needs to be balance. And this is not balanced, and it hasn't been for a long, long time. They need to start coming to respect. If it weren't for women, you know what, men? You wouldn't be in the world. You wouldn't have a body. If some woman didn't carry you for 9 months and feed you with her energy and give you a life and breath, you wouldn't be here. You best be having some respect. Okay? In older cultures, it used to be matriarchal societies. Okay? They used to have respect for women. Things have become so topsy-turvy, and the only way to change it is we need to stand up and say, no more, no more. Okay? Now, as far as men, if men have hung in this long, good luck. Good luck with that. But again, do you want your daughters, your young daughters, to go through abuse, blame, shame? Is that the way you want your child raised? Okay? Is that what you hope for your child? If not, then help stand up and say no more. No more. Men want to be respected, but do they respect women? If you want respect, you best be earning it. Okay? And I'm sorry, so many men have no respect for women. And yet they think they're entitled to all the respect. Okay? These men that want to abuse women in the home. Okay? So if you're a woman and you are being abused, leave the situation. He's not going to change. Leopards don't change their spots. And the only way they're going to learn is if women don't play that game anymore. Don't play that game. Don't be played. Don't let them tear down your self-esteem. Don't let them continue to put you in a place of abuse, blame, shame. Because that's what predatory males do. They don't have enough self-respect in themselves. And since they don't have enough self-respect in themselves, they want to tear down women. This is what's happened in Muslim community. It's not in the Quran that women have to dress like this. It's because men cannot keep it in their pants. So they make the women the problem. Okay? And this is what males have said in these societies since. Oh, it's the way you dress. It's because you smiled. It's because you spoke with me. Really? Nonsense. Nonsense. And it's time, again, to stand up and say, no more. Are we going to have a trickle, or are we going to have a flow? Are we going to have a lodge, or are we going to sit there in a little cave by ourselves? It's up to you. It's up to you. I'm doing what I can do. Every day I'm online. Every day I'm trying to give what wisdom I can give, support that I can give, aid that I can give. Okay? But women have to band together and stand up, and men that care about women and care about society and want to see their children start to be raised rather than having absentee parents, to start to have parents that take care of their children, raise them right so we don't have all these gun shootings and nonsense going on, then society needs to make a big, big change, and it needs to happen soon. Okay? It needs to happen soon. And it starts where? With respect. Giving women their rightful place, rather than this ideology of barefoot and pregnant, shut up, be quiet, sit there and look pretty, and take care of my needs. Okay? Nonsense. It's enough. It's enough. It's enough. Okay? So again, join me. No more. No more. These guys are gone, out of office. And when they start seeing we mean business, and that their time is limited, that they can be voted out, that they can lose their special interest, they are not the grand poobahs they think they are, then things can start to change. But it's got to start somewhere. And this is the place, and this is the time to start and stand up. Thank you everyone for coming to my channel, for tuning in. I welcome you all, male, female, both. Okay? Thank you for tuning in and have a great day. See you online. Aho!